Hello darts nuts, I'm just going to review another set of Voks movable point darts. These are the Reaper 22 gram model. They come in this plastic packaging which is quite plain, but does it really matter when most people throw the darts away? You get a little Voks wallet and you've got your Voks hard plastic case to store the darts in. You've got a point protector and your three standard shaped Voks flights, and obviously your barrels and short alloy shafts. Like I said on the review of the Nobu darts, these movable point darts use the ELC point, and movable point darts have been popular in America for a long time, not so much popular in the UK, but it's been around since, well, I think it was probably the late 70s, early 80s, and didn't really take off in the UK as much as it did in America, but that's by the by. And Voks darts have been around for quite a number of years, and like I said in the Nobu review, they were recently taken over by new owners and relocated to Florida, and they're hoping to establish a good name for the brand throughout the world, and hopefully they'll be distributing in the UK soon. But you can buy these darts off the website, and I would recommend that you check out the website because they have some pretty amazing designs on there. And this is the ELC point, like I said, and it's, according to this, it's our most popular dart. Point moves on impact, reducing bounce outs. No tools needed to remove tip. After impact, the dart can rotate freely, letting the flight move for closer groupings. Points are offered in 6 different lengths, can be converted to fixed point and spring loaded. So as you can see, the point is made of this long metal bar which just sits inside the barrel, and there's nothing to restrict the movement, but obviously as the point gets so far down the barrel it stops, and obviously the hole will be thinner there, and the end of the point is kind of flanged, so it must, I can't really see what happens, but I assume it hits the inside of the barrel. Yeah, that's, if you can see there, it gets thinner, so it'll hit whatever the point is where it hits, and then it stops. And it works the opposite way. When it hits the board, it pushes the point up the barrel, and it hits the bottom of the shaft, so that's what stops it from coming out. What you can do is, if you want to use the same barrels but you'd rather have them as a fixed point, then you just buy the fixed point conversion kit, which is basically these rubber stoppers, and they just sit inside the barrel, and then you screw the shaft on, tighten it up, so now you have a fixed point. The point doesn't move, and you've got a rather nice fixed point dart now. So it's quite a clever idea. Obviously you might say, well, why don't they make them in fixed point in the first place? Well, they do make some fixed point darts, but I think their reputation was made on the movable points, so it's good that they've invented another way of giving you the option. So some people will like the movable points and some people like the fixed points, so you've got an easy solution to pick either one. As you can see, these barrels have got two nail sections on. It's quite a kind of a classic kind of a look. I don't know what's happened with nailing. It seems to have gone out of fashion a little bit, but it's quite a nice grip nailing, so I'd like to see a few more nail darts, to be honest. Alright, I'll put a close-up of the dart now so you can have a good look at it. Right, here's a close look at the Reaper 22g darts. As you can see, it's got the movable point. One thing I would say about this particular movable point is that it doesn't seem to rattle when you shake the dart, as some movable points do, so it almost feels as if it's like a fixed point, to be honest. On the barrel you've got these two nail sections, and the grip on these is probably a medium kind of a grip, so it could work for rear grippers and front grippers, but this middle section as well is grippier than you would think, because you can feel the edges of these rings, so this dart might work just as well for middle grippers as well. Especially with that, you've got an easy datum point there in between the two nails, and you've still got some grip on your fingers off the nailing. It's quite a nice looking barrel. I don't really know why nailing seems to have gone out of fashion, because it's always been a tried and tested grip, so it's always been a good grip. You've got your Voks name etched on the end of the barrel, and short black alloy stems with the rubber O-ring, and your Voks standard shape flights. Alright then, let's let you have a look at the dart. Alright, I'll put a close up now with all the details of the measurements of the barrel. Right, here's the close look at the Voks Reaper 22g darts. When the point is set, it's 25mm long. There's a tapered nose of 7.7mm, and then there's a small gap and a nailed section which is about 15mm, and then there's a series of grooves and rings in the middle of the barrel. It starts off with three very thin grooves of about 3.7mm wide, and then you've got a section of 4.48mm with a groove in the middle, and then there's another 3.7mm of narrow grooves, and then there's another nail section which is 13.1mm wide, and there's another small gap before it gets onto a smooth section at the rear of the barrel of 4.3mm. The overall length is 51.8mm, and the widest part is 7mm. Right then, I'm just going to measure the barrels. Let's measure the length first. The barrel length is 51.9. Now these two nail sections look like they're going to be the widest parts, so that is 7.1. It's 7.1 on the nail sections, and the middle section is 6.3, so it's kind of like a scallop as well on that middle section. Let's weigh the barrel. That is 22.12 grams. 10 grams, and that is 22.12, so very closely matched and very nicely machined again. The full setup as it is supplied is, let's have a look, 24.05 grams. So it's very well machined and very accurately machined barrels. Obviously they have to hollow the barrels out, and the weight of the point inside, so they have to match it up as close as possible to the nominated weights, and it's pretty good that it's so closely matched. Alright, I'll just check the balance point. Could be quite even weighted, I should imagine, because of the two nails, with nothing attached apart from just the barrel and the point. It's I'd say that it's just slightly front of centre. It's quite evenly balanced. Let's see what happens when you've got the full setup. It's quite curious. I wonder how much the long point affects the balance of the dart, but I would say that is spot on the centre with the supplied setup. So that's your Voks Reaper 22 gram darts. It's a really nice classical kind of a barrel design. So let's give them a throw and see how they go. Alright, I'm just going to have a few throws with the Voks Reaper 22 gram darts. I'm going to use the setup as it comes out the packet, and I'm just going to try the movable point version, and then I'll put the fixed conversion stoppers on and give it a try as a fixed point dart. As you notice with the movable point, when the dart enters the board, it pushes the barrel down towards the board as the point gets pushed into the barrel, and as you pull it out, it resets the point. So it's set there. When it hits the board, it pushes in. When you pull it out, it sets itself again, resets it. I'm just holding the dart on the front nail. It's pretty grippy, that nail actually. It's more grippy than it looks. I think the dart is probably better balanced in the middle though, but I can't really get used to throwing it there. And one thing I have noticed is that, well, they don't rattle or move when you holding the dart ready for your throw. But when I tried the Voks Nobu and I rested my finger on the point, sometimes the point kind of turned, but it's not happened with these so far. Maybe the point is closer fitting inside the barrel, I don't really know, but when that point is set there, it just feels like a fixed point dart. I can't really feel any difference at all. Unless I really shake it hard, there's a slight noise, but it's you can barely hear it. These are only 22 gram, but they feel lighter than 22. I don't know why. I'm just trying to get the hang of them. The feel, it's hard to describe, because I think the balance is better there, and they just fly a little bit weird with my front grip there, so I'm just trying to get the hang of throwing them. I think that nailing is much grippier than I first thought. It's feels pretty good actually. It's just the balance of the dart that doesn't feel quite right for me there. But it feels balanced at the middle, but I'll give it a go at the middle and see what happens. It's not my natural throw. Yeah, it flies a lot better through the air holding it in the middle. Give it another go. It's just not my natural grip, so it'll take a while to get the hang of holding it there. I really can't tell when I'm throwing the dart that they're a movable point dart, so I don't think there's much point in me trying the fixed point conversion kit. I'm going to have a few more throws at this middle grip, see if I can get the hang of it. I think they definitely fly better through the air holding it there, so if you're a middle gripper you should be able to throw them quite well. I'm going to go back to my front grip. One thing I've noticed when I throw the darts is because I'm holding it at the front and they seem to be better balanced there, and with both ends being quite chunky. It's a bit like a dumbbell, and because of my hand injury I still can't release the dart as well, so I tend to flick it a little bit to the left anyway, but the fact that the dart is like this on both ends, it seems to accentuate that little flick a little bit more, so I get a kind of a sideways movement. When I hold it in the middle it doesn't seem to happen, but like I say, it's not my natural grip there. But one way I find to compensate for that is just to angle the dart a little bit, but it's not really the dart's fault, it's more the fact that my release is not opening up fully and I'm getting too much late contact, which is causing the dart to go to the left. When you get the dart thrown right, quite a zippy dart through the air. Like I say, they feel lighter than 22 grams. Right, that's the end of that. It's the Voks Reaper 22 gram dart. Like I said, it's a movable point dart, but when that point is reset I couldn't really feel any difference between that and a fixed point dart, and there's no rattling or anything. So it's only when the dart is pushed in and it moves probably about 4mm freely, then you might hear a bit of rattling, but as soon as that point gets to the reset position it seems to stay there until it hits the board. And that nail grip is really quite nice. It's a lot grippier than you might think, but like I said throughout the review, I think the dart is better balanced along that middle section, so if you're a middle gripper you're probably going to like these. They don't quite fly right for my front grip, but again it's more to do with the fact that I've still got problems with my hand and I'm releasing the dart and it's turning it a little bit, and the shape and balance of the dart is just over exaggerating that to some degree. But it's a really nice quality dart, and it's nice to see some nailing on darts because it seems to have gone out of fashion a bit. There you go, the Voks 22 gram Reaper darts, and you can also add the fixed point conversion kit if you really want to make them completely solid and immovable, but I honestly don't think you need it. And like I said in the Voks Nobu review, when you've got a dart in the board the dart will turn, so if you get contact with another dart coming in it could be a good advantage. So there you go, that's the end of the review. Thanks for watching.